Hey guys, I'm Evan. Welcome to Country View Acres. So I haven't had a video in a few days now because I've been sick. Ran a fever the last few days. It's my first day getting out trying to film anything. But even though I didn't feel good, we still had work to do. And let me just go over what we got done the last couple days. So the big thing we did is we did work the sheep, and we ended up separating the ewes from the lambs. So we're going through weaning right now. So we've got our 8 ewes. They're back here in the back of the barn, and we did treat some of them, and we did shear some of them as well to try to get off some of the wool. And yeah, that was a rough, hot day that day. So with the weaning process, it has been pretty noisy over here the last couple days, and we have all of the lambs over here in this pasture. They're back there in the trees, and we have Larry, our wether, he's with them. So Larry and the lambs are over here, and some of the lambs are so small they were able to escape. So we've got Rebecca put this here. This is a pallet because one of them tried to squeeze out and got its neck stuck between the gate and the post. And then we had some that actually could crawl out underneath the gate right here. So we added a stock panel in here. We got zip tied to keep them from trying to crawl under the gate. But it's been pretty dramatic for the sheep over the last couple days, and it's finally started to quiet down. But now that I'm out here, they're screaming again. But it was non-stop, them both just crying at each other for the last 2 days. So at least I think the initial shock of it all is almost over. Another thing we did is we went to Rebecca's parents. Her dad's birthday, it's actually today, so she wanted to go over there, give him his birthday card, wish him a happy birthday, and we helped them clean out the shed and take away some of their scrap metal. So we've got some metal here. Some of this is we're gonna keep. Some of this is pretty decent sized stuff. And then we've got a ton of scrap metal here in the back of the truck. It's like all full. Most of this is just small pieces, and we're gonna keep some of it for us to be able to use for future projects, but a lot of it I'll probably just throw in the dump trailer and take to the scrap yard and just recycle it. But we'll get all this unloaded here in a little bit. First thing I need to do is the cattle need to move to a new paddock. So I don't know if you can hear it or not. There's some thunder in the background. There's some storms north of us. It might rain here in a minute, so probably need to get it done first. But I don't have everything in the side-by-side, so I need to see if I can gather up a few things. Need to grab a couple fence reels. These are only half reels too, so they're not long ones. Use those for short runs. Might grab a couple of these fiberglass posts. And then I'll grab a couple T-posts. I found me a piece of PVC pipe here. Oh, yep, full 10-foot piece. We're cut it into 36-inch pieces. So right here, this is where the cattle have been. They've got this kind of grazed down pretty good. And then over here, this is where we're going to move them. Hopefully you can see the difference in that. I know it's kind of cloudy today, but I think my issue is I've only got like 10 fence posts or step-in posts right now. So I'm gonna have to try to do this as efficiently as possible. I may have to pick up some other reels or some other posts to be able to make this work. So this may end up taking me a little bit. Close the cattle in here while we're moving the fence. That's a cattle panel post right there. It's a short one. And our 2-inch PVC pipe will fit right over it. I'll keep it from shorting out. Well, this is one of my short reels, and that's as far as it goes. like a yard from making it, 3 feet short. Let me go just a corner. All right, she's definitely gonna reach now. So I've had some people ask, how do I keep this from being electrified, not getting shocked? Well, if you look at it, it's attached in between like 2 plastic bushings here, and it's not attached to the wire in the spool that you tie off to. They're not attached. So this is a dead handle is what they call it. It's not electrified. The rubber handle is not like making it safe. The whole handle is basically safe. So that means I can take this and I can hang that here, and if this metal touches the metal of the T-post, it's not going to short out. The only way you would shock yourself on this is if you reel it up and it's really loose and you have this temporary wire touching it and electrifying it. That's the only way it'll get electrified. I'm getting rained on now. So I think I've changed my mind on how to run this fence. Instead of giving them this area over here, what I want to do is I want to give them this center strip right here. It's a bunch of like warm season annuals that just kind of came in on their own. I want to keep it grazed down before it goes to seed. So I just need to run straight down this way, down to the end fence, and then connect it over here to the post that I just put in. All right, Maya, you want to come out and eat? These guys have been mooing at me. They could hear me switching the fence. They know what's going on. You know there's something out there. And there's their little bull, or at least he thinks he's a bull. Straight to the side by side every time. Come on, Maya. Woo! Yeah. Go figure, right when I finish up, move the cattle out here. Blue skies open up. Come on out. And there they go. They usually get happy and start running around when you give them new grass. So here are all of our 15 lambs, plus Larry, all out here together. It's nice to hear them quiet for a change, considering the last couple days. So the sheep have had they've had scours, which is basically diarrhea, and they've had it for a little while now. We've been trying to treat it. We've treated it several times for coccidia, and we didn't have any luck with that. So when we handled them all the other day, we wormed them all. And we're hoping that that takes care of the problem. They must have some type of parasite inside of them. So we're hoping to see that clear up here. Hopefully it's cleared up by now. I think we've been raising sheep for, I don't know, for at least 2 3 years now. And that was the first time that we had wormed the whole herd. In the past, we might worm one, like randomly when they needed it. But yeah, that's the first time that it was basically everybody but about 5. So we just decided to worm them all. All right, we're gonna switch side-by-sides now. And I do have the side-by-sides set up differently. So the Ranger doesn't have doors on it. So I've got it all set up for fencing. We try to keep the fence posts and reels in the back of it. Of course, I just ran out today. I've used them all up. But without the doors on it, I can drive and I can reach out with my foot and I can step in the posts, and then I can run the reel down with the reel holder on the back, and then I can drive back down it and I can hook the wire on the fence post. So as long as I drive up and down like a couple times, I can set up a fence, mostly from not having to get out of the side-by-side. In the electric side-by-side, we keep the toolbox in here, and then we try to keep the bed somewhat empty so that we can, if we need to work on something, we have room to throw the material in here. So we just use this one mostly for projects and repairs. So we bought another one of these Bovie rubs, and I'm going to put it on the gate that enters the pine tree. We hung that other one on the gate to the white barn, and then we ended up moving them, so they haven't been able to rub on it, and the flies are pretty bad. Now we'll go ahead and put the like insecticide infused mineral oil, basically is what it is. All right, we'll give that a few minutes to soak in. Well, I was hoping to get this done before the cattle came back, and I think as soon as I got over here, they headed my way. Hey, those are my tools. So the Bovie rub's only 10 foot long, and this is a 14-foot gate, so we're gonna have to add a couple feet of rope onto each end. Oh, I just got that hot melted plastic right there on my finger. Ow. Maya, don't mess with it. Maya, no! I'm trying to eat my microphone. Oh good, they finally decided to go away from me. So I've got some of these bovine strips, and they are made to tie right to this rub, and they'll hang down. They should rub the cattle on the side and on the side of the face and help get insecticide on them a little bit better, help keep the flies off. I probably should have had these on there before I soaked it. I'm gonna put these on here like every 6 to 8 inches, I think. All right, got the Bovie rub put up here in the gateway. Got all of the strips, one full box of strips on there. And I think that's good enough for now. Hopefully it's gonna help out with some of the flies. We'll check it in a few days. If it's sagged a little bit from them messing with it, stretching it out, we'll retie one of these sides and we'll tighten it back up. So the other day I took that cherry log over to the sawmill to be cut up, and it was like a day or so later he had me come get it. It was so cheap to have him saw it up. I don't think he charges enough. Anyway, I decided to take him another log. I took him an ash log over there, and he just called me and it's ready to be picked up. So I need to clean out the bed of the truck. I need to get all this metal out of here. I don't know if there's much in here that I really want to keep, but I need to probably go ahead, unhitch, and then start chucking what I don't want into the dump trailer. All right, I got everything I want to scrap in the trailer. And what did I keep? Well, I've got some different sizes of tubing here that's fairly large, some big pieces of C-channel, bunch of T-posts in here, a couple big pieces of pipe. And then this is like a receiver, like the other end of a receiver hitch, like this is a receiver hitch, and then that one fits inside of it. So those may come in handy. And then we also have a 3/8 chain, probably about 20 feet long. And then over here on the trailer, we got a couple of long pieces of probably 4x2 rectangular tube, probably about 1/4 inch thick. We also have a piece of this galvanized like signpost. That's what a stop sign would be on. That might be handy. This is like a 1-inch solid rod there, and then that's like 1/2 inch by 8-inch wide plate. So hopefully a lot of this will come in useful on some future projects. And everything I threw in the trailer, in the dump trailer, it was all rusty or really short pieces or fairly thin pieces, stuff I didn't think was worth trying to store. I've already got plenty of metal stored in the garage right now, so I wanted to try to just pick out like the best pieces to keep. So I'm gonna get all these T-posts put over in the bank barn and the rest of these pieces of metal put in the workshop, and then I think we'll hook up to the dump trailer. We'll go ahead and just take this to the scrapyard today, get rid of it, get a little bit of cash, and then we'll head to the sawmill and we'll pick up the lumber. And if we're lucky, we'll get enough cash from this to buy the lumber. We'll see. Well, sometimes things just don't work out exactly the way you had them planned. So I ran to the scrapyard and there was a line at the scrapyard. So I had to wait to get through, dump my scrap, and then when I got backed away, there was a line again, but there's a bunch of people scrapping catalytic converters that they had cut off of cars. And apparently the catalytic converters, you have to like match the part number. Each catalytic converter is worth a different value. So I had to wait like 20 minutes for these guys to get the catalytic converters figured out and get paid. And then by the time I finally got through and got paid, went to the sawmill and they had already closed for the day. So the sawmill's been closing early because of the extreme heat. We're under a heat advisory again today. Right now it's supposed to feel like 110 outside. So I don't really blame them for closing down early, but didn't end up getting the lumber like I had planned. I mean, that's the only reason I ran the scrap metal to the yard real quick today was that. So it didn't end up quite working out the way I wanted. But I did get $70 for that load of scrap metal, and that's more than what I needed to pay for the log to be sawed up. So our next batch of meat chickens is supposed to show up this week. I don't have a specific date. The place I order them from, you really only have like a 3-day window of when they might ship. So I haven't got any shipping confirmation yet, but they should be here in a few days. So I need to clean out the brooder. So let's take the Baumolite skid steer over to the bank barn and we'll see if we can get this to actually fit inside the barn and get it all cleaned out and ready for the next batch of chickens. All right, I got the mini skid steer, and this is where we worked the sheep the other day, so it is a little bit of a mess. If you look in here, you can see all the wool on the ground where we sheared some of them that hadn't shed. And then in the chicken brooder, of course, we're gonna have to get in here and scoop all of this out, and we're gonna have to get it out here like in the alleyway. That way we can get it into the bucket of the skid steer. So it's not like the skid steer is gonna really do a lot of the work. It's just gonna make it to where I don't have to haul it as far, I guess. I just need to get it in the alleyway and then hopefully it can take it from there. Backwards. So you can see the mini skid steer just barely fits inside of the barn here. This alleyway here, this is pretty tight. And I went in forward the first time, but then I realized if I turned the machine off, I didn't have enough room between it and the sides to even walk around it. So I needed to pull it in backwards where there's a little bit more room back there to get around. What I'll do is I think I'll just scoop out all the debris into the aisleway, and then I can take the mini skid steer and I can just push it all out the door and then scoop it up outside. Well, it's typical summer weather. We went from sunny skies to rain, a little bit of thunder. So I guess if this takes me a little longer to do, that's okay as long as I stay dry. Oh, I'm glad that didn't bust. All right, got the brooder all cleaned out and it is ready for the next batch of chickens. And we've got quite a pile of wood shavings here. You can see we use a deep bedding method. So we just keep adding fresh wood chips and build that up until they move out to pasture, and then we finally scoop it all out. I think the only thing left to do is I just need to sweep out this stall here, get all this wool out of here and get it out in the alleyway. And I think that should be everything we need to clean out of here. Yeah, chickens. Well, that rain didn't help me at all. I think I found the limitations of the mini skid steer, because this whole barnyard is all slimy and muddy now, and this is downhill, okay? Keep in mind, this is not flat. And I was trying to scoop this up, and I just couldn't get it to, you just want to spin out. I couldn't get it to scoop into the pile, and then it kept on getting stuck, and I kept on trying to get it maneuvered, and I just kept on sliding further and further down the hill. And now the skid steer's down here, and I can't get it, I just can't get it out of here. But keep in mind that this is a barnyard, and all this stuff that you see is probably not dirt. This is probably all compost in here, and it gets really soft and slimy when it rains. And I'm gonna have to give it one more shot, see if I can get it out of there. If I can't, I'm gonna have to pull it out with the tractor. Go. Back up. Well, let me finish cleaning this up and then I'll just drag it out with the tractor, I guess. Well, I guess it's back to doing it the old-fashioned way. Well, after that experience, I'm going to say if you're going to be on mud or on a slope, you're probably going to want a tracked mini skid, not a wheeled one. And you also saw it go through this doorway. I'm pretty sure this is a 4-foot wide opening. We only had maybe 3 inches on each side. So pretty tight, it does fit through. But I think for cleaning out this barn here, I don't think it's really going to benefit me any because I can't maneuver it inside. If it could maneuver inside, I think it would change things. But I just think this barn is probably way too small. I know a lot of people have always tried to tell me to get my tractor in there. It's just people don't realize how small this barn is. It's not designed for equipment whatsoever. And that's why I try my best not to take animals in here if I don't have to. It was mostly is just the chickens nowadays. If we have a really cold winter, or sometimes we'll put the sheep in there, but I try my best not to keep livestock in there because it's just so much work to try to clean that out. It's all manual labor, and you can see that's just going to be the way it is. Oh man. Well, today was another hot day, and considering yesterday I was sick and I had a 101.6 degree fever, I probably did a little bit more today than I should have. And I did get a little bit overheated when I was loading up all the metal in the dump trailer. So it's already, I think it's getting close to 5, I think. Oh my gosh, it's almost 6. It's almost 6, 5:52. So I worked even later than I probably should have. So I think for today, I probably overdid it. Luckily, I don't feel bad. I got maybe a little bit of a headache. But I don't feel too bad. I was afraid I'd end up feeling worse halfway through the day. I was afraid I pushed myself too far and I would make myself sick again, and luckily I didn't. But I think for this video, I think I'm gonna say that's it. And hopefully here in another day or so, if I can get everything together, I'm gonna try to move the carport. I think I've got everything to do it. Probably just do it with a, I'm not for sure how I'll do it. I've got a couple ideas. I know you guys have said some ideas, but here hopefully in a couple of days we'll get the carport moved, get it into the pasture. That's going to be a fairly involved task, and I think it'll be pretty cool to see because there'll be a lot to it. You know, just kind of trying to get the carport up and moved, re-anchored. We're going to have to open up a fence and repatch a fence. I think there'll be quite a bit to it. It may end up being a couple different videos to get it all wrapped up, but I think for this one, I'm going to call it a day. So I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you next time.